Hey everybody, what's going on? We're here with a timeless reading. Before we get started with the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with the highest good. Alright, the first card out is the Sun. We also have the Devil here, Six of Swords. This looks like something became apparent that maybe you decided wasn't the type of space you wanted to be in, or something that you didn't want to do any longer. I'm seeing the High Priestess on the bottom of the deck, so this can be like you were in a situation or doing something or caught up in something or making a particular type of decision, and there's this feeling, this message even that you were getting, that this wasn't in alignment with your highest good, we can say. It could have also been something that you got sucked into too, where you were like, I don't want to be involved in this anymore, I don't want to participate in this anymore. It can be something that you find to be toxic with the Devil. The Devil is something that it can be hard to break out of this cycle, but when you take a step back and look at it, you recognize that it's not like the healthiest thing for you to be involved in. And to have the Sun coming out before that, it feels like there's now an awareness of this, whereas maybe before you didn't see it as so much of a problem, or before you weren't willing to look at it, or you were trying to negotiate with yourself and sort of stick within this. Now it seems like something that you're willing to admit to, or something that you're willing to see. And the Six of Swords here would suggest that you're now prepared to be moving away from this if you have not already. And I'm seeing this definitely be, I'm hearing High Council, I'm seeing this definitely be a suggestive move on the part of your higher self communicating with you. Like, you know that it's like out of alignment for you at this point, out of the type of alignment that you want to be in anyway, because it's aligned with something, but I don't think you want to be aligned with that any longer. I'm seeing you be very honest with yourself here, which is not an easy thing to do, especially because this means that you're going to be switching things up in an unfamiliar way. I will say this too. With the positioning of the cards, I'm seeing you moving away from the Devil and towards the Ace of Swords. And what this means is that this situation that you had been in, or whatever this was that had been happening that you were involved in, I'm seeing it had been something that was really like clouding your vision before. And so it would have been a situation that like it was difficult to break out of, but it would have been something where you could have like deluded yourself into staying within this. But now at this point, you're like, beyond just my cravings or beyond just what my ego wants, like I want the truth and I want clarity and I want to be like moving in that direction. And so this is definitely a big step, because the Devil is always something that's like very seductive to us, to our egos anyway. And so if you were still identified and being motivated by your ego in that way, you would have been staying in this situation. But I'm seeing you like seeking something higher at this point, and that's what you're going for now. And it looks too like this is going to clear out your throat chakra. I'm seeing that be connected with this. That has to do with your ability to read situations too. I'm seeing this be like a really, really big thing. I'm hearing congratulatory. Yeah, this would not have been an easy cycle for you to, cycle, habit, situation for you to remove yourself from. This is something that would have like really had a hold on you for all of the different reasons that it could. But you could have felt as well like it really fogged your maybe discernment. There's something here about it causing something foggy. Yeah, it's going to help you connect in a more pure way. Connect to something like people, your environment. But before, it could have, like with the Devil and the Ace of Cups, it could have been actually something that overwhelmed or overloaded your senses to the point where you actually became like numb to things. Because the Devil can symbolize things that are being done in excess, and to have the Ace of Cups, it can be like, I want to feel something, I want to feel something, I want to feel something, and then being like super overstimulated. And it could have been something where you were trying to maybe put yourself in a position of power, like empower yourself within your life, but you could have realized that it was something that actually you were giving your power away to. And the Devil can be so many different things. I feel like sometimes when we look at the Devil, we think that it just has to do with like an addiction or something like that. And energetically, it's just us being like very obsessed with something to the point where there's no longer balance anymore. So this can be being obsessed with like somebody else and what it is that they have going on in their lives. It can be an obsession with like money and material things. It can be an obsession with our bodies. It can be an addiction to a substance or to codependent relationships. You know, it wears many, many different faces, but I'm getting that the reason that you got involved in it in the first place was because like you wanted to feel connection, but the way that the Devil like adds its ingredient to this recipe is that it's something that is like a knockoff version of what you really wanted, because it lacks that element of like energetic spirit within it. Even though everything is made of spirit, this is something that it may have done what you needed to on a material level, but on a spiritual and energetic level, it wasn't actually the thing that you were looking for. But while you were in it, you could have been convincing yourself that you were going to find it. I see the Devil as being connected to with our lower chakras, like our root and our sacral and our solar plexus too. So if you were like Ace of Cups has to do with the heart chakra and like what we're connecting with. So if you were like looking for that higher thing, it may not have been something that you were reaching. But again, it would have been a situation that could have convinced yourself like, you're going to find it here, you're going to find it here, you're going to find it here. And then you keep like searching for it. And it's like going through all of this stuff and you can't find it. And it's because it's not going to be present within that situation. So I'm getting you be at a point where you were like, maybe just admitting to yourself what this situation was, being honest with yourself. And even though at first you may have thought entering into this situation would be something that empowered you, I'm seeing it did like the reverse of that. And now you actually stepping out of this situation, like moving on from it, like admitting to yourself the truth. I'm getting that be very key and very important here. Once that happened and you were like, nope, like I gotta step out of this, I'm seeing that's where the empowerment actually is found. And I'm seeing that be very clear to you. So for some of you, I don't know if you fully committed to stepping out of this. Let's just use an example. Let's say that you feel like you have an issue with like alcohol. I feel like that's a very easy example to use here. And you feel like you've been using it for reasons other than like recreational purposes. You know, it's like when you get upset, you're drinking. When you get in a fight with your partner, you're drinking. When you have a bad day, it's like it's happening all the time, you know, and you're using it as a crutch. Now, I'm seeing you like stopped doing it, even if it's just for a minute. And within that moment, like I'm seeing there be clarity for you. So it's like this breaking away from the addictive like pattern or habit. And I'm seeing you be in a space of clarity where you're like, wow, I feel so much better. I feel so clear right now. I really do feel like I'm giving my power to this thing, you know, it's like helping me to bypass, when really the only way that I'm gonna like resolve this or work through it is if I'm being present. And now you're at a spot where I'm seeing like that, like sober clarity, even if it's not a substance. It can be you involved in like a group and you feel like there's a lot of drama going on, and before you were like, well, I'll do anything to have like a friend group that I connect with even though it's a toxic environment. And then you get to this space where like maybe everybody's busy during the weekend and you're by yourself and you're like, wow, I'm so relaxed and I feel so calm and so at peace, you know, away from that. And so whatever this is, it's like the stimulus, there was like a breaking away from it. I'm seeing you have that clarity, and then I'm seeing it become very obvious to you what you had been resistant to letting go of, what you still may be like, I recognize what's going on, but I don't know yet if I'm totally ready to let go of it. Because I'm seeing something that you still, like, you may know what it is, but still have a hard time completely like releasing it at this point. But this may also be kind of the clarity that you needed to show you where you're holding on to something still that's maybe out of alignment for the type of alignment you want to be in. Where you've been holding on to something that's been prohibiting further growth. For some of you, I'm hearing annulment. I guess that can be applied in like a general sense as well. So yeah, it was also you seeing too like what you could have been holding on thinking that it was empowering you. I feel like this is the third time we're saying this. What you were holding on to thinking before that it was empowering you. But then by you separating from it, you're like, oh, I feel empowered like without this thing actually. Like I had been giving my power to it. So it's showing you like what was happening by you holding on to this thing, by you clinging to this thing, and like being unwilling to let it go. So I don't know how this sort of like breaker space happened, but I'm getting it be your situation be laid out very, very clearly now for you. Like what's sort of tripping you up in 3D and what you're meant to release. So now it feels like if there was some sort of like issue or problem that you've now gotten down to the bottom of it, which was not easy because there's a lot of stuff that needed to be gone through for you to get to the bottom of it. But now that you're here, it's about figuring out what you want to do. And the beauty of this is that now it's actively a choice for you because you're aware of it, because you're conscious of it. So this is no longer I don't really know what's going on or why I'm in this pattern and things keep happening and it's out of my control. It's not like that anymore. This will now be, if you continue participating in this, it will now be an active choice for you to be doing that. Or the opposite. If you release this, it's going to be an active choice for you, a symbol of empowerment for you within your life. So yeah, now it's on you to do what you're going to do. Some of you, this has to do with a relationship of yours, like a person, actually. I will say this, with the Devil and the Ace of Cups, like your heart was in the right place with what you were looking for. Like I'm seeing your intention was to connect, but with the Devil, it's like you're not actually going to find that. It's like not the right ingredients for that type of recipe. But the Devil will convince you that it is. But then you keep coming up short, you know? So yeah. It can also be like the types of relationships that you were going after as well. Like thinking it was going to be something else than it was. And like rethinking that. So many different things it could be. Anyways, we are going to leave this here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.